Hello everyone. I'm pretty sure you are also eagerly waiting to see what's coming our way in terms of cybersecurity in 2024. And this video is fully recorded to help you to answer your questions in this purpose. My name is Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, and currently I work at Exitium as CISO. All right, let's start. Why is cybersecurity important? Cybersecurity is important because our identities are increasingly shifting online, from credit agencies to remote workplaces, from social media to metaverse, from shopping to banking. Our lives are becoming more entwined with the digital world. Is this all? No. The supply chains that kept us fed or clothed, or the technology for me that I need to record this video, is also managed through information technology. So, cybersecurity is important for everybody, even if you are not in this field. Okay, this video will talk about the predictions in 2024. But I would like to remind you what Albert Einstein said many years ago. He said, if you want to know the future, you have to look at the past. So why am I telling you this? To be able to predict 2024, we have to look at 2023. All right, there were so many incidents happened last year. So which one am I going to mention? As we have limited time, I want to mention a couple of important incidents and how they happen, so I can give you a better view on 2024. 2023 was a year marked by significant cyber attacks, impacting various sectors, from Fortune companies to small businesses. And here's my summary. First, in end 2022, around this time, which is the end of 2023, the Guardian newspaper in the UK was hit by a ransomware attack, affecting their systems to stop and requiring their staff work remotely. While I'm talking about that, right now, the city council, which I was born in Germany, Siegen, has been also hit by a similar attack. And right now, they are working hard to recover from this attack. So, the dates are changing, but the attack vectors, unfortunately, are not. What else happened in 2023? Was it just a newspaper, or as I said, what happened a couple of weeks ago at Siegen, Nordrhein-Westfalen in Germany? Or is it also other sectors which was affected? Here we go. Sick kids, a hospital at Toronto, was also hit towards end of December around last year. The hospital for sick children, sick kids, they experienced a significant ransomware attack again, and by Lockbit Group. They were lucky. I'm saying they were lucky because when Lockbit Group found out it was a hospital and they were serving the kids, somehow they publicly apologized and provided the unlock codes for free. I mean, this was important and first time seeing, at least in my career, that the threat actors were giving the target the keys back for free, which proves one point. When they attack, they don't sometimes look at the target. They don't care who they are. They just try to find an attack vector and they exploit it. Sometimes, in this case, it is in a hospital and they might have some mercy. But why beg for mercy while we can pretend these kinds of attacks? But let's see what else happened in 2023. In March, an outsourcing giant, Captia, suffered a significant cyber attack. Again, in a similar way. Captia is not just serving public sector, but also private sector customers. One of the biggest impact was, it cost them $25 million to recover. They lost lots of customer, 25 million pounds, by the way. And this is just in the first 6 months in the year. What else? The CEO had to resign because of the result of this incident. So it was not just affecting the customers, the financials of the company, but also the executive leadership. All right, let's look quickly into CAPTIA attack, how it happened and why the CEO had to resign. First, around 22nd of March, attackers infiltrated CAPTIA systems. 1 week later, there was a public statement saying, hey, you know what? There is no evidence that CAPTIA was hacked. 5 days later of the statement, the threat actors released evidences that CAPTIA was hacked. And a few weeks later, CAPTIA admitted there was an attack. And 1 month later, they had to ask regulators, they have to fill regulator form saying that they were hacked. And you saw the results. What else? 2023 was also big in terms of supply chain attacks. When I say supply chain attacks, I'm pretty sure you all know what happened towards end of 2020. The SolarWinds attack. I'm going to talk about this in the second part of my video, but supply chain attacks did affect many different sectors. And one of them was the University of California in San Francisco. Just imagine a doctor not being able to operate because the computer is being hacked. Or just imagine a company who builds airplanes was hacked and they cannot produce new airplanes, because of the cyber attack. And as they have many customers connecting to them to get software updates, they've also affected through this. Based on the details, there were many different impacts, but the most important one was, of course, that airplane company that we give our money, our details, and our lives to fly from A point to B point was hacked, and they could not even protect their computer systems. What else? The Norton supply chain attack was also big. Norton is a company that offers, as you all know, an antivirus, and the attack, the threat actors used a zero-day vulnerability while movie transfer, which is a progress software, to bring this company down. While they sell security services, they couldn't even protect their own customers. What about the Colonial Pipeline attack? This was also big. Just as a reminder, the Colonial Pipeline is the largest pipeline system for refined oil products here in the United States, and they were unfortunately attacked again around March 2023. Is it just security companies, universities? But also Microsoft was attacked in a similar attack. We all use Windows systems, we all use Microsoft, but they also, I'm a proud ex-Microsoft employee. They have a great team, but it doesn't mean that even Microsoft cannot get hacked. Aramco, one of the largest cybersecurity company. Apple, one of the largest oil company, Aramco, sorry. Apple, Amazon, all these companies, the Fortune companies or individuals were hacked and can hack. This is not the problem. The main problem is if you don't know how to respond back. I keep saying that. There is two types of organizations. One, they know they've been hacked. Two, they don't. So please don't look at the names, but focus on the attack vectors and the incidents to be able to get lesson learned to protect ourselves. Okay, what else happened? I just said Norton was hacked through Progress Move It vulnerability, but was it just Norton? No. Another company, many other companies actually were hit by this zero-day exploit. One of them was Klopp, and Klopp's had customers such as government, business organization, schools, HR solutions, and British Airlines, including BBC as well. So sometimes using a software, I mean, we have to all use a software, but sometimes using a software not protected in the right way, trusted blindly, can cause issues that we have to look. I mentioned SolarWinds. It happened in 2020, but we still see the effects of SolarWinds even today at 2023, and I believe we're still going to see some effect at 2024. So what happened at SolarWinds? If you remember, again, around September 2019, they were attacked. They didn't notice that till March. Then they disclosed the attack. I mean, SolarWinds disclosed the attack towards December 12th in 2021. So the hackers waited for 2 years and they didn't realize it. Again, as a result, the CEO had to resign, but I still feel sad for the statement that he made publicly. He blamed an intern to use a password, SolarWinds123, while he's resigning from his job. So what are the effects today? While the initial SolarWinds cyber attack happened, as I said, in 2020, the lawsuit ended in 2023, where the CISO of SolarWinds was charged. And this was the first time the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission in US, has sued a company targeted in cyber attack, signaling stricter cybersecurity enforcement. What else? The government or the regulator started the SEC, which is the Exchange Commission, now also sued executives. We saw the same thing happening, if you remember, in the Uber attack as well. The Uber CISO was sentenced 8 years for jail, but I think at the end he has to serve 3 years for his mistakes. What else? SolarWinds was charged $26 million to pay their shareholders for their misleading statements. So not just getting hacked will cause you losing customer trust, but lying in public, like the previous example that we had, can cost you even more money. What else are we seeing in 2023? We are seeing that the threat actors actually now not just threaten the hacked companies. They say, if you don't pay me, I will report this incident to, or we will report this incident to Security Exchange Committees, and you will get fined. So they're not just keeping your data or the data, they're also threatening with telling the incident to regulators so you can get fined. I would like to give another example of regulator fine. British Airlines. They had a small incident 3 years ago, and they were fined more than 220 million euros back then because they breached the GDPR, which is the European Data Regulations law. So sometimes the hack can cost you more than paying the incidents, the threat actors. What else happened? ChatGPT, the AI, which makes us scared. Are we going to lose our jobs? Or is AI taking over? On March, again, ChatGPT Plus customers were hacked. Then there was a second hack happening in May. ChatGPT confirmed this breach just 3 weeks later, or 3 months later. So while we are afraid that AI is going to take over, AI companies or AI organizations can get hacked as well. Is it just those? No. There are also nation-state attacks happening. We all know what's happening Ukraine. Russia, before they start the war, they launched many cyber attacks based on Microsoft Digital Threat Report. It is clear that, based again the reports, that many governments employ their own hackers, which we call nation states, to spy on other countries, other companies, to steal the IPs and secrets to make their governments stronger. What else? Latitude, an Australian personal loan and financial service provider, was also affected. Although the initial disclosure stated that they had only, I repeat, only 328,000 individual customers were affected. After the investigation, it came out that they had 14 million customers affected. So 14 million might not sound big for you, but if you, as an Australian, let me tell you one fact. We, together in Australia and New Zealand, Australia has around 23 million population, New Zealand has 3, so 26 million. And if you look at it, 14 million is more than half. So there were more than half of the Australian population affected with that cyber attack, or ANZ population. Is this all? We saw a huge rise, increase on IoT malwares as well. Compared to 2023, based on October results, so I don't have the up-to-date data yet, there was more than 400% increase on IoT malware. The Lionsgate, I'm pretty sure you at least watched one movie made by Lionsgate. Lionsgate has their own streaming company, again, which is called Lionsgate's Play. Again, they were exposed with a cyber attack. Millions of their customers lost their information. LastPass. Passwords started to become a big issue, right? And hackers know that. Most of the people, they use password software such as LastPass, password management software such as LastPass. And in August this year, they had a major incident, second time in a row. And unfortunately, many people's passwords were lost. So just imagine you're paying a software company to keep your give you a software to keep your password safe, but they were not encrypting those passwords, and when they get hacked, all your passwords went together with them. MGM, just in October this year, if I'm not wrong, September, sorry, there was a huge cyber incident. MGM is a resort which has more than a dozen hotels all across the US and Las Vegas as well. This little breach cost them more than $100 million in expenses. We still don't know what the fine is going to be for their mistakes. When we look at MGM, that was not the first time. FBI found out that actually they were hacked. The hackers were in MGM since September 2021. So they were there for 2 years, more than 2 years, and nobody noticed until they started to pull the plug. So, lesson learned. Know who is inside and know what you can do when things happen. ChatGPT hack 3 just happened a few weeks ago. Another attack, which is called the Virgins attack, which compromised user privacy. It's basically an intentionally crafted prompts or inputs to get LLMs to generate outputs that diverge significantly from what is typically produced. And this attack actually was conducted by the researchers. So they found that vulnerability before ChatGPT did get their third leak. And right now, I believe they are working to fix it because the 90-day period has not passed yet. They might have a disclosure soon. Another one, Okta. I don't know if you know about Okta. Okta is an identity management provider, very big, and they had a security incidents as well. And as a result, they lost their customers' confidential data. So what happened? First of all, let's talk about the details. One of the employees clicked in a link and lost his password to an attacker. That attacker used the personal Google account lapse through a service account to reach to Okta managed laptop, which allowed the hacker or the attacker to access the service account's credentials stored on the employee's laptop. What they did is they gained access and they extracted those information past the hash. And with that, the hackers or the attackers had now access to customer support system. With the stolen service credentials, now they were able to hack any customer, Okta customer, who shared their dumps to the customer support system, where the hackers extracted the password from those dumps. They stole the wallet session tokens, and then they started to create this mess. Yes, it was a limited impact report, but even though it was limited, the customers of Okta were really affected, right? And those credentials allowed the hacker to escalate their permissions. So with that, they were able to download more and more customer details and move literally to those customers. Yes, the detection happened October 20 this year, but when they notified the customers, it was already too late. Just a week later, Okta publicly disclosed the breach and provided updates to the security page. And unfortunately, the investigation is still going on. There is no new updates so far. And just end of November, which is like a week ago, they publicly recommended customers what to do in their website, as you can see. Cryptojacking. What is cryptojacking? Cryptojacking is a technique used by criminals to hijack victims' computing power for cryptocurrency mining. This happened a lot, especially to individuals or smaller companies, organizations in 2023. And I'm expecting to see this next year as well. So, if you remember, I started the session stating that if you want the future, if you want to know the future, you have to look at the past from Albert Einstein. So, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Part 2. What am I expecting in 2024? Cybersecurity predictions for 2024. Cybersecurity is becoming more and more important, and navigating the evolving threat landscape is now more and more challenging. As the digital landscape constantly is evolving, there are far too much threats that we face daily. And while we enter the new year, it is important to look what might hit your way, and hopefully after watching this video you will use some mitigation techniques which I will recommend at the end of the slide, which can help you to stay more secure. All right, ransomware. As I mentioned in my previous video or in the first part of this video, unfortunately are not going anywhere. Ransomware attacks will likely evolve in sophistication and insensitive. So, if you remember, the first ransomware attack happened in 2016-2017 with WannaCry, and 5-6 years has passed now. unfortunately, every single year we see increase on ransomware attacks. And especially compared to the last 5 years, there was 13% increase. And the average cost also increased by 12% per incident, which is $1.85 million at five. All right, that's my English. Apologies for that. So I'm not gonna stop the video. I hope you will just laugh and pass at me. The average ransom in 2023 costed $1.5 million. Compared to 2022, this was double. Over 72% of businesses worldwide were affected by a ransomware attack. Again, compared to 2022, it was a huge rise. And the global cost of ransomware is expected to exceed more than $30 billion in 2024. I just noticed a typo there, but apologies for the typo. So in 2024. All right, what else? AI during cyber attacks will become more common. As I mentioned in the first part, ChatGPT was hacked as well. Google was hacked. Microsoft was hacked. Apple was hacked. So, and those companies creating AI, right? But it doesn't mean AI is not going to be, AI is not going to stop hackers. The integration of AI and machine learning into cybercrime operations will be a major concern in 2024. I'm pretty sure attackers will utilize AI and machine learning technologies to automate their attacks, launch large-scale campaigns, use AI for better crafted phishing attacks, use AI-powered defense mechanisms, to use AI-powered attack mechanisms to bypass defense mechanism, while of course we can use AI-powered defense mechanism to stop those attacks. So we will see AI attacking AI very soon. What else? IoT devices and smart interfaces will be also exploited more frequently. I mentioned in the first part of this video that compared to 2022, there was 400% increase on IoT attacks, which I foresee is not going anywhere in 2024. When we look at the last 5 years, IoT attacks are getting more and more popular. And compared to 2022 to 2023, those increases are concerning. While we will use more and more IoT devices, I'm pretty sure hackers will try to find those vulnerabilities and try to attack us. What will this lead also? Regulators to push now have some IoT security standards, which is coming our way. For the ones they don't know, ISO has just released also security standards for AI now. So AI has been to regulate it, and I'm foreseeing regulations to IoT will hit our way hopefully soon. What else? Supply chain attack. I mentioned the top 5 supply chain attack earlier in this video. Unfortunately, they're not going anywhere. Supply chain attacks and third-party risks will continue to be a major concern. As we are interconnected, as from clothing to food, from food to technology, from technology to energy, everything is passing through supply chain. Attacks on software, supplier networks, critical infrastructure within the supply chain will make us worried again. Organizations must prioritize vendor risk management, implement software update protocols, and of course, prepare for potential ransomware attacks through supply chain. If you remember, even one of the world's biggest companies, security companies, FireEye, was hacked through SolarWinds attack, as I mentioned, where they had a password used by intern, which was SolarWinds 123. So you have to try to secure the AI supply chain. You have to the supply chain, and you can use AI to secure the supply chain attacks to increase the supply chain security as well. The supply chain attacks, as I said, will have ripple effect damage. One of them is going to be cascading impact, where a critical software vendor can affect countless organizations, as in SolarWinds. A compromised infrastructure can provide energy grids or communication networks, several issues, and some concerns to public safety. Supply chain attacks are hard to detect. It has huge risk, so we have to use maybe different methodologies to secure those against those attacks. We might use, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, AI, ML to mitigate or to increase those kinds of attacks. So we have to look what's happening. What else? I foresee that privacy regulation will become more widespread and stringent. What do I mean with that? I mentioned earlier, former Uber CISO, who was not just sentenced, he had to also pay $50,000 fine for not reporting the incident to the regulator. Tim Brown, the CISO for SolarWinds, was also charged by the SEC. I foresee that new SEC, it has been now actually published already, but I foresee that we will see more fines coming our ways. As CISOs, as business executives, we have to take cybersecurity more serious, and we have to work with the regulators to minimize any kind of issues and follow the recommendations. Is it just in US? No. When we look in Europe, Europe is now taking NIS2 into effect this year in 2024. NIS1 was covering critical industries like healthcare, energy transport, digital infrastructure, or financial infrastructures. Now, with NIS2, they take this further for food sector, for social networking, for cloud computing, and data centers. NIS2 is now focusing on risk management, corporate accountability, reporting obligations, and business continuity. Why I do mention that? Doesn't matter where your business is, you better take care of those, because when the regulators are focusing on one area, it means those areas are the weak areas that we need to focus to improve our defense mechanisms. Australia. As an Australian, I can proudly say that we have a Privacy Act which is in use since 1988. But in 2023, there was a new 116 proposals in terms of cybersecurity made in Australia as well, because it's obvious that the current regulation or legislation is not enough to govern our data or protect Australians' data. And we saw, I mentioned one example, but we saw two major ISP or telco companies, Telstra and Optus, were also hacked last year, which probably affected 100% of Australians, because there is only two, or the rest of them, they resell those services. Of course, in Singapore, the situation is not different. Even in China, the regulators are pushing more and more towards legislations, because first of all, they want their citizens' data to be secure. Secondly, it's a great way to find companies and create revenue. Okay, this part was a joke, but it's really important that we do follow legislations, because it can cause us lots of money. What else? The human factor. Strengthening cybersecurity through cyber awareness is going to become more and more important. While technology plays an important role in cybersecurity, unfortunately, human elements remains a critical factor. I keep mentioning that. There is no patch for human stability. We have to educate users about phishing scams. I mentioned a few examples. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to go through the details, but in the examples, the ransomware examples that I mentioned in this presentation, some of them happen through human mistakes. They either clicked on a phishing, they either answered and be victim of a phishing call. So we have to be ensuring that we create a cybersecurity culture where cybersecurity is not just CISO's role, but everybody's roles in the organization. Additionally, we have to explain the importance of use MFA and other elements such as good password policy, cybersecurity hygiene to everybody, because unfortunately, most of the end users still see MFA or good password policies or cybersecurity hygiene as a burden. They don't like to use it because they have to click a few extra, for MFA, they have to wait for an SMS or they have to use an authenticator app. For password, they have to be more aware. They have to create all these password recommendations. But it's our job to ensure they understand the risk. Otherwise, we're gonna not outcome the hackers. What else do I expect? False information during election periods. We saw this happening earlier here, even United States. It's not a secret that other countries are trying to spread false information against citizens, so they get their preferred candidate to be elected. Even the FBI issued a warning about cyber attacks on election officials during the recent election cycle. While America is expecting the new presidential elections soon, I foresee hackers are gonna use their best to make false statements to get their preferred candidate to selected. Cloud security. Cloud is more and more part of our lives. Doesn't matter if you're using a Google phone or an iPhone or a Huawei Harmony OS phone. You are connected to a cloud. More data and workloads will move to the cloud, and this means hackers will look into this. So ensure you know that cybersecurity is not just the cloud provider's responsibility, it's a shared responsibility between you and the cybersecurity provider. What else? I foresee that quantum computing and cybersecurity is going to be more and more called together. While the computer is getting more powerful, quantum computing is going to have the ability to faster decrypt sensitive data, which will render many current encryption methods useless. So let's see what kinds of mitigations we're going to find against that. What else? The future, this is what I see for 2024. But I also want to recommend you the trends and technologies to watch, which is coming our way in the new year. Blockchain, you all know, it's not new, has still the potential to revolution data security and identity management, fostering greater transparency and trust. Deception technology, like honeypots, sandboxes. I think we should take more care of this because this is the best way to slow down attackers. Quantum computing. While I just mentioned a few possible weaknesses or vulnerabilities that might affect us, we can use quantum computing to increase our security as well. And don't forget, adapting to the evolving threat landscape requires continuous learning, proactive planning, and robust security. You have to know what's happening around you to be able to protect the important assets that you might have. In conclusion, cybersecurity will continue to be a major concern in the new year. As I mentioned, new technologies will create new cybersecurity challenges. And of course, strong cybersecurity measures will be more important than ever. With this, I came to the end of my session, but I would like to recommend all of you to sign up to Exitum Academy, because I have created a brand new free certification, which is called The Rise of AI-Driven Cyber Attacks and Strategies for Mitigation. So if you want to know how AI is used by attackers and how AI can be used by defenders, don't miss out this perfect because I wrote it, this great course to get certified. With this, I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you watched it. I apologize for my English, but if it's not the first time that you watch my video, you all know that, hey, I was born in Germany by Turkish parents, live my first 18 years of my life there, then moved to Australia, from there to Dubai, now in US, and this is what's coming out. Apologies. And just before I go, if you like to be keep in touch with me, those are my channels: X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, of course. Just before I go, I would like to also thank Exitum for sponsoring this session. Exitum has the great technology which makes our life better. Thank you very much for watching, and talk to you later.